Good morning, everyone. Focus Daily. As usual, I like to begin each show by giving all praise due to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his son, Jesus Christ. It is through them that I am being sent to the world with this truth as a chance for redemption for all. Okay, today we're going to speak about the yellow fever. In the late 1700s, they initially released this virus upon the Afro-American people as a weapon of chemical and mass destruction. However, each time they attempted to release viruses upon the people, God interfered. But in this specific time, in the late 1800s, the disease was more genetically specific. Thanks to the research that had taken place in private prisons and military bases, the Anglo-Saxon society scientists had zeroed in the disease to make it more genetically specific. Today we're just going to watch a short film real quick. I'm going to sit back and just let the film play. Yeah, and that's it. The yellow fever. Let's go. Get this film working.
A city on lockdown. Thousands dying or dead. Wiped out by an incurable disease. Amid the chaos, a young French immigrant, Louis-Joseph Duffiot, a maverick medic who will put his life on the line to save a dying city.
New Orleans was such a crossroads of ideas and culture.
Okay, people, on the Focus Daily Show, you have to turn on your discernment. The way they tell the story, they place themselves as the hero of the story. When in actuality, this Louis guy, he was one of the people that helped facilitate the disease and spread the disease. Matter of fact, let's look at this small article from 2011. Atlanta AP. Shocking as it may seem, U.S. government doctors once thought it was fine to experiment on disabled people and prison inmates. Once again, back to the prison experimentations and the military bases which lie beneath them. Such experiment included giving hepatitis to mental patients in Connecticut, squirting pandemic flu viruses up the noses of prisoners. Fast forward to 22. They had people lined up to take a squirt up the nose. They still use the same methods in this present era as they used in the past. However, presently, the viruses are more and more genetically specific. All right, I want to point that out. Let's get back to the video. Technical difficulties. Let's go.
In the face of this yellow fever epidemic, he's trying out new ideas and really attempting to take a scientific approach with knowledge that he'd acquired in Europe.
Like immigrants down the centuries, Duffiot's experience will shape the future of America. He is declared the nation's very first licensed pharmacist. His pharmacy is still there today.
the pharmacist was more like
On
a
your own time, you might
doctor
want to look up the
today,
definition
in
of
that people would go to
pharmakia
him.
and see how it is directly related to the word witchcraft, which the law of God specifically prohibits.
To diagnose what their problem was, and they would be treated accordingly.
Louis and the city survive the epidemic. He joins the Howard Association, an early version of the Red Cross.
Later, we'll get a little bit more in depth about the Red Cross and their role in this Holocaust or genocide that would begin to take full effect in the early 1900s. In the late 1800s, they was really trying to set up their play. In the 1900s, the game was on.
More than 130,000 victims of yellow fever and other diseases.
In the history of mankind, no society.
So that's it, folks. A short video on Louis, what's his face, and how he helped facilitate the second strain of the yellow fever.